just a brief introduction about myself. I'm Sudeepa Nair. I'm joining from Singapore. I joined Thrive about 3 months ago as a business development lead. And my background is in business development and consultative selling. And I'm also a fiction writer. Okay, so today I'm here to take you through thriving beyond sustainability, a marketing perspective. Essentially, the thrivability principles that we bring to our marketing projects at Thrive. I added these slides purely focusing on the marketing students because I know that they would have some background on marketing and they all know Philip Kotler. I've also been a marketing student. So it's a quick overview of what social and sustainability marketing means, and then moving on to thrivability marketing and a campaign that we are doing currently at Thrive, focusing on greenwashing and what is the impact of something like greenwashing on large events like the Olympics, right? And a few guidelines for the project that students can work on, and what are the expectations when we talk about marketing projects for aligned with the Olympics, and a few of our projects, current projects related to the 2032 Olympics. The genesis for social marketing, it actually started with psychologist G.D. Weeb starting the asking the question, can brotherhood be sold like soap? Something as abstract as brotherhood, can it be sold like soap? And Philip Kotler took up that challenge and he thought about it, and he was the one who coined the term social marketing. We have a textbook on social marketing, co-authored by Nancy Lee as well, and it defines social marketing as applying marketing principles to influence the target audience to voluntarily change the behavior. So it's not forcing them to change. We are creating a behavioral change through voluntarily asking them to accept what we are asking them to do. And this is definitely for the benefit of the larger society and the community. And then the journey towards sustainability marketing, as we know. So, sustainability marketing is actually an arm of social marketing, I would say, and it has the efforts towards sustainability marketing started since 1975 when the American Marketing Association had a workshop to define what ecological marketing is. And they came out with a textbook, a journal, which focused on marketing environmentally conscious and ecologically safe products. So the focus was entirely on the product per se. How do you make the product more environment friendly? And if you look at the progress or the journey, Ben and Jerry's was one of the first companies to publish a CSR report, a corporate social responsibility report. And by the 1980s, the term green had been adopted by most of the companies and the marketers to denote environmentally friendly or ecologically conscious products. So it became green marketing, so to say, and the color green has since been used to denote environment friendly products. And slowly it led to different initiatives like corporate social responsibility, ESG, sustainability branding exercises. The fallout of corporate social responsibility was that um, there were a lot of volunteerism in among the corporates. A lot of corporate employees got involved in volunteer projects, and there was a budget allocated for corporate CSR projects and CSR events. But at the same time, there was a lot of complacency because the companies felt that, okay, we have allocated the budget and we have some projects that we can fund. So we have done our duty towards the environment and the society, and that's it. And today we have a lot of talk around ESG because we are moving away from, or rather, we have expanded the scope from merely sustainability or environment to society, social goals, as well as governance. And ESG stands for environment, social, and governance. So we are touching upon aspects like equity, equality, as well as corporate governance, where we keep track of corruption, bribery using ESG metrics. But all these things, CSR or ESG or even sustainability branding, these are all very internal focused for the companies. So it's more about how do we position ourselves as an ecologically friendly company or an environmental friendly company, rather than looking at the real impact on the environment or the society itself. So this has given rise to tokenism, um, and of course, as I mentioned, complacency again. Is this enough to get our home back? Because we are on a journey from where it seems hard to come back. At Thrive, we are looking at a new way forward where we use thrivability principles to define a path not just to net zero, which is what sustainability demands, but go beyond to net positive. And if you look at where we are right now, we are somewhere between being unsustainable and sustainable. Sustainability focuses on net zero, which is bringing back the impact on the environment back to zero, zero carbon emissions, etc. The number zero is very important here, but we are focusing from net zero to going to net positive using our thrivability framework. And what is thrivability all about? It's about regeneration or bringing nature back to its original form. So, how do we regenerate natural ecosystems? How do we regenerate the society from how it used to be, in terms of the consumption, in terms of equality, equity, brotherhood? Of course, we have come a long way in terms of societal progress, but still there is a lot of things that needs to be done. So, how do we reach that thrivable phase? We use the same thrivability principles at Thrive in as part of our marketing projects. Thrivability marketing is all about being mindful of what thrivability means and what thrivable means. So, like I said, the first thing that we always tell ourselves is not just net zero, it's net zero to net positive. And it's not just about surviving or sustaining ourselves, it's about thriving. So when we say thriving, it refers to improvement of the quality of life for everybody, not just a few from the society, but for everyone. So at Thrive, when we work on our marketing projects, we of course work on a lot of content creation in terms of research or articles or assets that we create. We bring about a holistic focus on issues. So it's not just the environment. We use the SDGs, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, to bring about an expanded focus across society, across various aspects of equity, equality, gender parity, and all these issues are looked upon. So our researchers are constantly looking at these issues from a holistic perspective. And of course, this is something that we do at Thrive. We have a regenerative process because we are all volunteers here and we have to make use of our limited time and resources. So we do a continuous creation of knowledge in terms of, so if there is a research work that somebody is working on, we try to see how it can be used for further research, how it can be explored to create bite-sized knowledge which can be easily disseminated to the audience. So there might be a huge white paper that somebody is working on, but then we can break it down into smaller pieces, which can be easily marketed to the folks, right? So that's something that we do as a regenerative process. And we also update our knowledge constantly. So if there is an article which are like 2 or 3 years old, we can see what has happened in the last 3 years and then update it. So we have an internal process by which we keep track of all the articles that we have published and the content that we have created and make sure that we are up to date with that. And then, of course, we try to use innovative and creative storytelling. So, for example, we have something called the TM Olympiad that we are doing for the kids, school kids, and we create short stories which help them understand the complex concepts better. For example, waste management, water management, and how do we align it with thrivability? Because thrivability as a concept might be difficult for them to digest. So we use short stories and animated videos. So we try to use the same for the grown-ups as well, because everybody likes stories. So that's what we do. And then what we aim for whenever we work on any of those articles or when we find themes for research is that the work that we look at can be local, and it's better if it's local because the more local it is, the faster the impact and the effectiveness of that theme or the issue or the solution is easily measurable when it's local. At the same time, we look at local solutions that can be transferred to at a global level. So how can we then use these solutions at some other place? So for example, if someone in India has figured out a way to conserve water or maybe a way of rainwater harvesting, then how do we use it to the neighboring countries which are in a similar background or similar ecological states, ecological system? So something like that. And we also look at community-based businesses because they have impact on the community. And plus, with our holistic focus, promoting equity and equality, because we have often seen that environmentally uh, friendly products are priced higher because of the cost of production, the manufacturing processes. So we do need to look at equity and equality here because the solution should be for everyone and not just for a certain section of the society. So these are the things that we look at when we talk about thrivable solutions and thrivability marketing. It's about being mindful at every step. And this is the way we execute. So it was all strategy in the previous slide, how we look at things. But how do we execute it? Because we have a team of researchers, the focus is largely on articles and blogs, but we also have social media managers and social media leads who look at converting these articles into posts and stories, attractive stories. And then we have YouTube videos. There is something that we tried out recently called as post-article interview, which is new. So once an author writes an interview, for example, there was an article on pink washing, and the author gave an interview, and it was a lively interaction between two people, two of the thrivers, and it connected with a lot of people because it was like a conversation. So it's not just a presentation on the article. So we hold conversations with between two people, and people can really connect. And we'll use this interview to create snippets for various social media channels. So that's in progress right now. We'll continue to do it for other articles as well. And these are a few of the campaigns that Thrive. So to briefly explain what a campaign is, we give about 6 to 8 weeks for a theme, and we try to find out how much of it has already been covered before, and if we need to update our knowledge as well as create awareness about newer themes in that topic. So, for example, greenwashing, everybody knows what greenwashing is as a concept. It's all about company making false claims about them being environmentally friendly, right? Just to build their brand, build their PR image, uh, and then doing the completely opposite thing in the real world. So that's what greenwashing is all about. So we have now figured out that there could be different types of greenwashing, and the reason why we are focusing on various types is that it brings depth into our knowledge. So now we know pink washing. It is focused on females and the LGBTQ community specifically. So, for example, selling products which are focused on females, marketed as a feminine product, and then priced higher than a similar product which is focused on the male. So, this is an example of pink washing. And then we have whitewashing. So if you look at the ESG, so we have environment, which is greenwashing, social, which pinkwashing is an example of social, and then governance, corporate governance, we have whitewashing. So companies hiding any corrupt practices within the organization, and then trying to say that, oh, we are environmentally friendly, but then you're doing all kinds of wrong stuff inside the company. So that's whitewashing. And then moving on for the next few months, for June and July, we are focusing on thrivability. This will also help us to kind of advocate thrivability as a part of the 2032 Brisbane Olympics and make new thrivers and new volunteers aware of what thrivability actually means. So we have a couple of articles planned for thrivability and working on newer ideas. And then we have climate change solutions for August and September. This is more in line with the monthly themes that we have for our webinars and workshops. So we will continue this till next year, and then probably have a relook at what we need to do. These are the campaigns that we have. And why greenwashing is important, like I said, when we focus on greenwashing, it is a pitfall of sustainability marketing, and it's an easy pitfall for huge events like the Olympics. We have seen the example during the Paris Olympics. Coca-Cola was accused of greenwashing. So the example of being environment friendly that they gave was they were asked to put up fountains across the event so that people could then refill their reusable cups when they buy the drink. Instead, because they didn't have the time or infrastructure, whatever, to install the fountains, what they did was they used reusable cups and emptied the drink from plastic bottles into the cup and gave it to the spectators. So, which is not exactly environment friendly because we are trying to reduce the use of plastics. And there was another case of using recycled plastics for the seats at the event. And that is not a thrivable way of going about things because recycled plastics, when they are disposed of, they again give rise to microplastics. And we all know that microplastics is a huge issue today. We have, I mean, I'm sure that even my body has microplastics in it because of what I've consumed. So it's there everywhere. So this is one of the pitfalls that we are trying to avoid, and we're trying to create awareness about. Impact, I won't focus on this too much because we all know right now, from an environmental perspective, the needle doesn't move because of greenwashing, because it's an eyewash. Uh, we don't see the positive change at all. There's no real work being done in terms of environmental protection or thrivability. The consumers, of course, feel cheated. A lot of people lose trust in the brand, and the environmentally conscious consumers also fall back to old habits because sometimes they have to pay a higher price for things that they feel are good for the society or benefit the society. So they find it, oh, it doesn't really matter because everybody is anyway cheating, and they are indulging in greenwashing. So how does my effort help in any way? And then, of course, for businesses too, as a marketer, I think we should be aware that it affects the businesses too. We have competition from other thrivable businesses. So the really good businesses who focus on environment friendly products, they would be competing with other businesses, and it undermines their efforts and it affects their brand as well. These are examples of what we did about greenwashing at Thrive. We already had an article on greenwashing and the impact of greenwashing, a podcast uh, where there was a conversation about the dark side of greenwashing. And then these are the newer ones that we have written. So the dire wolf one is an interesting exploration. So the author actually explored whether the dire wolf research or the work done was an example of greenwashing in R&D. So is it really worthwhile to bring an animal back from an extinction? And this is not really bringing it back because they have mutated it genetically. And it's really a wolf with a slight genetic mutation. So it's not the real dire wolf. Uh, with evolution, there have been certain survival mechanisms that the animals have used, that the natural world have used to survive in the world. And if the dire wolf comes back, will it still survive and thrive in the current ecosystem? That is a question that needs to be asked. So this is one interesting exploration that we had. And then, of course, our hero article, which gained a lot of coverage, that was on pink washing. And everybody had a lot of opinions on what pink washing is and how it impacts them. And we had a few social media posts on what is weak sustainability. So again, it is built on the thrivability principle. So anything which is not thrivable from our perspective, we'll call it weak sustainability. And of course, there are different types of greenwashing, like green shifting, where you keep shifting your targets. A company keeps shifting their targets every before they even manage to reach it, and they change their target. And then there's green lighting, where they highlight a very small effort from a environmental perspective or a sustainability perspective, and they hide the bigger damage that they're doing to the environment, and that is green lighting. So the different types of, when you explore greenwashing, there are different types of greenwashing, and it helps to build on the depth of our knowledge. Yeah, so this is somewhat of a guideline uh, that we have put together when we work on our project. I'm sure Kudus might have more inputs on this, but these are the things that you need to remember. It's a global impact event. So anything we do in terms of education or awareness will be highlighted. If there is something, if a message connects with the spectators or the event managers, the event sponsors, the organizers, it will get a lot of coverage and a lot of publicity. So it's a global impact event. That is something that we need to remember. And so whether good or bad, you're going to get a lot of publicity for sure. And then, of course, we need to refer to the IOC guidelines on sustainability. They talk about 3 spheres of responsibility on their website. And look at the Brisbane Olympics goal and slogan. It's called Shine Brightest Together. So they specifically mention that it's not just about sustainability. We want to go beyond and talk about equality and equity, which is why they use the word together. So it's Shine Brightest Together, bringing everyone together at the same time. And consider the thrivability principles that we have earlier talked about. I think Morris has already given a view of thrivability framework. Then, of course, it's up to you to develop ideas to educate, create awareness, and advocate thrivability to all the Olympic stakeholders. How do we do this? Because this is a physical event, how do we show the presence? How do we share the message at that point, from a physical event perspective? Because most of these things that we do at Thrive are online, but how do we do it there at the event itself? So that's something that you could work on. So yeah, moving on to the next slide. This is just a few of the things that we are working on. I'm especially excited about the Safeguarding Brisbane Waterways article, because we are referring back to what happened with the Paris Olympics and the Seine River. And it's an important thing to note when we look forward to the 2032 Olympics. Our researchers are doing some analysis with data that is available on the bacterial content in the waterways. And the white paper will be out in August. But before that, we are creating some teaser articles to set the context, and which, the layperson can easily connect to, whereas a white paper would be really scientific in nature. So that's something we do from a marketing perspective. And then because our theme for the next couple of months would be thrivability, this is another focus point. We are busting common sustainability myths. So a common person like me, how do I understand the difference between what is sustainable and what is thrivable? So 3 or 4 broad examples that I can connect with. So that's a focus of that article. And then, of course, we have the TM Olympiad project, which is a big one for us. So we are aligned with the schools in Australia. We are holding a TM Olympiad for them. And we have started creating educational content, like I mentioned before, explaining the thrivability concepts, and dealing with various themes like waste management, water management, growing vegetables, simple stuff that children can adopt and do at home. So those will be talked about through stories, videos, posters, and other assets. And then, of course, you can follow us for more in the upcoming weeks and months as we work on more things, more projects at our website. And how can you support Thrive? We have our social media pages, we have a YouTube channel. And plus, I have to mention this. Morris asked me to mention this specifically. Tomorrow, we have a Thrive Framework workshop, and it's limited to 20 attendees, but there are some slots specifically for students. So, if the students would like to attend, please contact us and we can make it happen. And yes, do join us as volunteers if you have the inclination and the time to do that. It's The link is available on our website. And, it's fun. I mean, although I have around 13 years of experience in consulting, I've learned a lot more in the last 3 months, I would say, working with the team at Thrive. So yeah, so that's something that I'm looking forward to. That's it from me.